Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into a story that starts in a pretty modest home in Ahmedabad, Gujarat.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow it scales up to building the actual infrastructure, connecting millions across India. We're talking ports, power plants, airports, just a staggering scale.
It really is.
It's a journey of, well, immense ambition, undeniable resilience too,
Mm-hmm.
but also one marked by significant risks and, yeah, sometimes intense controversy.
Definitely.
So for this deep dive, we've gathered quite a stack of sources looking into the life and the empire of Gautam Adani. Our mission today, really extract the key nuggets of knowledge, the insights, helping you understand that unique, let's call it billionaire mindset.
Yeah.
What drives these meteoric rises and the huge challenges that come along with them. When you look at the whole sweep of his story, what's the very first thing that jumps out at you about a figure like Adani?
Well, what's truly fascinating, I think, is the sheer audacity of vision. Right from the start. The material highlights, he was born into a modest Jain family. His father, a small textile merchant, mother, a homemaker.
Pretty standard beginnings.
Exactly. But even young, he was restless. Dropped out of Gujarat University. And it wasn't like lack of intellect.
Right.
It was more, as our sources suggest, the classroom just couldn't keep up with his hunger for, real-world action.
Yeah.
That immediate jump into the practical world, even as a teenager, drawn to markets, to trade. It really set the stage for everything else.
That restlessness, that pull toward doing things, direct experience. You see that quite a bit in these kinds of stories.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't hang around after leaving university, did he? What pushed him to leave Ahmedabad and head from Mumbai so young? What was he looking for there?
Opportunity, really, and a different kind of education, a practical one. He was just 18, moves to Mumbai, starts as a diamond sorter at Mahindra Brothers.
Diamond sorter? Seems specific.
It might sound small, but think about it. That's a crucial entry point. Understanding commodities, valuation, the subtle art of negotiation.
Right. The real mechanics of trade.
Exactly. It wasn't about the salary. It was about the learning curve, and it was steep. Within just a couple of years, he learned enough, saved enough capital to start his own diamond brokerage.
Wow. Okay. So pretty quick.
Yeah, it showed he had that knack for trade and, the drive to be his own boss in a really competitive field.
So, okay, he's making money, learning the ropes in Mumbai, showing that entrepreneurial spark.
Yeah.
But then there's a big shift, isn't there? Back to Gujarat, into a completely different industry. What triggered that move, and how did it set him on this path to, well, an empire far beyond diamonds?
Yeah, that was a key turning point. It came in 1981. His elder brother bought a small plastics factory back in Ahmedabad, and Gautam was invited to manage it. And that's where he spotted something others maybe missed. Importing raw materials for PVC, that's polyvinyl chloride, key stuff for plastics.
Ah, the supply side.
Exactly. This seemingly small step into imports was, well, transformative for him. He saw the huge potential in trading industrial commodities, but on a much larger scale. So by 1988, he founded Adani Exports, which is now Adani Enterprises, and focused on trading power, agri-commodities, other critical stuff.
Right.
It really showed his talent for spotting those supply chain bottlenecks and, making a business out of solving them.
And then comes India's economic liberalization. Early 90s. Huge moment for the country.
Massive.
What did Adani see in that landscape that maybe others missed? Or perhaps just didn't dare to pursue on such an ambitious scale?
Well, while a lot of traders were, leveraging the new rules for their existing businesses, Adani saw something much more foundational. He looked at India's critical weakness at the time, its ports. Slow, congested, outdated.
Just accept it as how things were,
Pretty much. But he envisioned something different. World-class private ports that could fundamentally change India's trade capacity. He was thinking way beyond the present about future growth for the whole nation.
That's a big leap.
Huge. And the pivotal move was winning the contract to operate Mundra Port in Gujarat, 1995. It was literally like barren land. But he turned it into India's largest commercial port.
Incredible.
That single project really marks the birth of the Adani Group's huge infrastructure empire. It showed, well, almost audacious foresight.
That is an incredible feat, turning deserted land into a mega port. But he didn't just stop at the port, did he?
No.
He then branched out.
Wow.
Into other really vital sectors. Once he had that first big infrastructure piece, what was the thinking, the strategy behind moving it to so many seemingly different but also foundational areas.
It looks very deliberate when you trace it. It's about vertical integration, creating this indispensable ecosystem.
Okay.
So from ports, the logical next step was power generation and transmission. He launched Adani Power in '96, massive coal-based plants initially, because ports need power, and power often needed coal, which the port could handle. See the connection?
Okay. It feeds itself.
Exactly. And over the next couple of decades, the expansion was just relentless. Renewable solar, wind projects, recognizing where energy was heading,
Right.
then taking over management of 7 major Indian airports, massively expanding that logistics footprint he already had, rail, shipping, warehousing,
As a whole network.
a whole network, then data centers, cement, even defense manufacturing. By 2022, this integrated approach had ballooned the Adani Group into, what, a $200+ billion conglomerate, briefly making him the world's second richest man.
Wow.
Every new venture seemed designed to reinforce the value of the others. It's quite the structure.
That kind of growth, so fast, so broad, it can't be accidental. There has to be some driving philosophy, right? That billionaire mindset at its core.
Yeah.
What does our deep dive tell us about the fundamental principles guiding that, well, audacious expansion? And importantly, does that relentless drive for speed ever come with risks? Trade-offs worth noting.
I think the core strategy really boils down to 2 words: scale and speed.
Scale and speed.
Yeah. He believes in entering these high-impact sectors, building absolutely massive capacity, and crucially, integrating the whole supply chain. But what's really interesting here is that Adani's scale and speed wasn't just about building big things, it was about building them synergistically.
Synergistically, how so?
Well, think about Mundra Port again. It became a magnet, right?
Hmm.
Power plants set up nearby. Then coal imports flowed through it. Then the logistics to distribute everything.
Okay. Each piece makes the other stronger.
Precisely. That interconnected web of control, that's the real genius, maybe. It makes the entire ecosystem indispensable. He consistently seems to see, like, 10x expansion possibilities where others might just see incremental growth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to your point about risks, yes, this drive for immense scale, rapid execution, it's made his group absolutely vital to India's economic future, but that very speed and the sheer amount of debt needed to fuel it, that has inevitably attracted intense scrutiny. And it certainly carries inherent risks.
That intense scrutiny, yeah, that almost always follows this kind of scale. What were some of the recurring criticisms, the challenges Adani faced over the years? And then what happened when that scrutiny really peaked back in early 2023?
Right. Well, he's faced various challenges for a while. Environmental protests, for example, around his huge coal mining projects. Political allegations, too, about being, too close to power, especially given the scale of government contracts he was winning.
Sure.
And there were always these background concerns about the high levels of debt from all that fast expansion. But the most dramatic challenge, no question, was January 2023. Hindenburg Research, a U.S. short seller firm, published this incredibly detailed report.
Ah, yes, I remember that.
It accused the Adani Group of stock manipulation, accounting fraud, serious allegations. The impact was, well, immediate and severe. The group's stocks lost something like $100 billion in market value in just days.
$100 billion just gone.
Yeah. And Adani's personal wealth just plummeted from around $120 billion down to maybe $50 billion almost overnight. It was an unprecedented financial hit.
$100 billion lost. I mean, that's a scale of crisis most companies just wouldn't survive.
Hmm.
What was his recovery playbook? How did he manage to regain investor trust, turn things around so, well, decisively?
Well, instead of retreating or going silent, which you might expect.
Yeah, often the first instinct.
Right. The sources highlight 3 really decisive steps he took. First, focus on rapid debt reduction. They repaid over $2 billion in loans ahead of schedule. That was clearly aimed at reassuring investors about financial health.
Okay, tackle the debt concern head on.
Second, he sought out high-profile global partnerships, bringing in reputable investors like GQG Partners that injected critical capital, yes, but maybe more importantly, it restored significant confidence, like a stamp of approval.
A signal to the market.
Exactly. And third, prioritizing transparency, greatly increasing public disclosures, initiating more independent audits, addressing the accusations directly. And, by late 2024, Adani stocks had largely regained a lot of their value.
Really?
Yeah, it demonstrated that resilience and a decisive response are just as crucial as ambition when you're navigating those kinds of storms. It's quite a lesson in crisis management under extreme fire.
We've talked about his business resilience, which is clearly immense. But does our research give any insight into the personal side?
Yeah.
What might have forged such an Well, unyielding spirit. Any experiences outside business that shaped the man?
Absolutely. Beyond the business empire, the sources do touch on this. His wife, Preeti Adani, she heads the Adani Foundation, focuses on education, healthcare, rural development, showing a broader impact, perhaps.
Hope.
But personally, yeah, he faced some incredibly high-stakes, life-threatening situations. He was kidnapped in 1998, a terrifying experience, you have to imagine.
Kidnapped. Wow.
Yeah. And he was also present in the Taj Hotel during the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. He was
Mm.
trapped there.
Goodness. Both of those.
Right. These experiences, according to the research, are said to have really reinforced his belief in, living with purpose, and certainly instilled an even deeper sense of resilience, a different perspective on risk.
You can only imagine. Going through that,
Mm-hmm.
it must change you fundamentally.
Mm-hmm. It seems likely. So connecting all these threads, you see Adani's journey as this masterclass almost in identifying a nation's big needs and then building the indispensable interconnected infrastructure to meet them. Ambition, yes, but paired with relentless execution, always looking to control that supply chain end to end, creating a whole ecosystem. That inherent drive for immense scale combined with this deep resilience, forged in both business and, well, life-threatening personal challenges. That's what really sets his narrative apart. It's a testament to navigating both colossal opportunity and profound crisis.
So, wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Adani's journey seems to teach us that it's beyond just thinking big. It's about thinking holistically, building systems that become indispensable.
Yeah, that interconnectedness.
It's about seeing bottlenecks not just as problems, but as opportunities for these integrated solutions, and then executing with, well, extraordinary speed.
Mm-hmm.
His story, which is definitely still being written, highlights that while immense power brings immense responsibility, immense scrutiny,
Mm-hmm.
the ability to build that integrated, resilient ecosystem can let you weather storms that would absolutely sink others.
It provides a buffer, a foundation.
Exactly. The real question for him, maybe for anyone building on a scale, is how that foundational indispensability will be balanced with the evolving demands of, a changing world. It truly underscores that in the world of billionaires, making yourself essential, that
Yeah.
seems to be the ultimate play.